Hey, welcome and thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Talking Shit with Jay. Today's episode, we're going to talk about hookups. You know, the one-night stands, the side dude, the side chick, that 3 a.m. phone call, last call. You get what I'm saying. We're going to talk about hookups, the rules, the drama, and just all the fun stuff. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have a live phone call with who else? My little brother Depot. And we're going to hear some of his stories of hooking up. So let's see where it goes. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? And welcome back. Okay, so we're going to talk about hookups. We're going to get my little brother Depot on the phone. And we're going to hear some of his stories about little hookups, one-night stands. All right, so we got Depot on the phone. Depot, what up?
What's up, guys?
All right, so tell me, dude, is there rules with one-night stands? Like obviously, if it's a one-night stand, there's no feelings. That you guys always have an agreement that it's just the hookup, right? You're not falling in love or anything like that. Tell me, give me an experience.
Let's see. I remember I was out of the bar with some friends from work. This is a while ago, and it was snowy. So sometime around winter, and we were at this club, and I was just dancing with this chick, and she says, "Hey, I'm only in town for the night or for the day. I'm going to the Festival of Colors that they have down here."
Right.
She's like, "Then I'm gone the next day." So she's like, "Go to my hotel room."
Yes.
So we went and we did our thing, and I left, and that was it.
That was done.
I don't remember her name. All I know is that I got mine, she got hers, and I went back to my truck and drove home.
Okay, and see, that's another thing I was going to ask. I have some other questions, but that's the thing. You got yours, she got hers. Now, is it selfish being the guy, or is it selfish being the girl? I'm just going to get that. I'm going to get to the big O and I'm done. I'm out. Do you care about the other person getting off? Is it a one-night stand, rule that you got to get them off? Tell me.
I think that's more of a personal thing. Like me, I like to make sure the other person finishes before I finish, or even if I do finish, I like to make sure they're good, and then I'll leave. But, it also depends, too. Is it a random one-night stand, or is it someone that you know and you guys just happen to hook up once?
Right.
Just like you were drunk and decided to try it. It's different.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes total sense right there. So here's another thing. So if it's a hookup or a one-night stand or whatever, right? I guess there's categories. You got the hookup, you got the one-night stand, the side chick, the side dude. So are these just different phases of a one-night stand means it never happens again? A side chick, does that mean it's whenever?
Well, a side chick is something you call up when something's not going right with your main chick, or there's even, booty calls or friends with benefits. Hey, I'll call you when I need sex. Other than that, don't bug me.
Right.
Kind of thing.
No, I hear you.
Mutual thing.
Now, are you saying so a side chick or side dude, so that's obviously if you're already in a relationship, right?
Yeah. Okay,
so even with that, though, is there rules? That's my biggest thing. Is there rules when hooking up?
If you're in a relationship and you're hooking up with the other person, probably don't ever call them. Let them contact you. Now, say side chicks usually, or side dudes usually the single one, and the other person's in the relationship, so you don't want to be calling them or texting them. They'd be like, "Why the hell is Domino's Pizza calling you at 2:30 in the morning sending you nudes?"
Right. Right.
You're just there, but you're there for the one thing that you want from them. Now, if you're emotionally invested, is another thing. But usually, it's under the bias that, hey, this is just sex, this is fun. The forbidden thing is usually what makes it fun,
Okay, so let me ask you right there what you just said. If it's just sex, that's the first initial agreement. But do emotions ever get involved?
So usually, it depends. If the side chick or side dude starts getting somebody else, they start getting distant with the other person. They might want them because that's their release. They come home from round one of dealing with life, and they got to deal with their significant other, and that's round two. So they go to their side person to just get away from it all. Now that side person's gone. Now they got to deal with the shit at home.
All right, I got you.
have other ones, or the side person be like, hey, they're getting better in the relationship, or they're getting married. I'm not getting as much attention. The gifts aren't coming. The dates aren't happening. And, they get involved. Or maybe, the sex is really good and you feel a connection with that person. But as soon as that happens, you got to break shit off. If you're into that, if you're gotten that far into it, because then that's going to jeopardize your other relationship.
No, that's awesome. I'm gonna hurry and stop you right there. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back on, we're gonna ask Depot about another story that he has. Stay tuned. Want to be a guest on the show? Of course you do. Do you got some crazy stories, or just some bullshit you want to get off your chest? Or maybe you have a coworker you don't like, or a boss that just pisses you off? Well, we want to hear it, and I'm sure our listeners do too. To be a guest, comment down below, guest, and I will personally PM you, and we'll get you on the show. All right, welcome back, everybody. If you're just tuning in now, we're talking about hookups, and we have Depot on the line, and he's actually giving us a couple of his stories. Before we took a break, we're talking about the commitment part. Like, are you in a relationship? And if you are, and you do have that side piece or that hookup, does it go south? And I'm going to say yes, it usually does. So, Jake, does it go south?
It does go south in my experience most of the times. It never turns out good, whether it's y'all get into a fight, or someone becomes emotionally invested, or your significant other finds out if you're in a relationship. It just tends to go south. People get clingy. They just can't separate sex and emotion.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with you on that. And see, look, real quick, Jake, with me, when the times that I was in relationships, it was cool, went good, because what you said before we took our last break, you talked about, you come home or whatever, you see him, things ain't working out with the main chick, you know what I mean? And so when I, started talking to other chicks, and it was towards the end of the relationship anyways, I actually had some peace. I could talk to somebody without getting yelled at or patronized or something. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then doesn't that go in the same as having the side piece? That's the biggest thing. Like at the beginning of the show, we're talking about emotions. Are they going to build? Like if I have a side chick and it's just understood, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like it's just sex. Eventually it becomes more than just sex, right?
It does. So the thing, men, and it's been proven, men can separate sex and emotion, while women need to build up the emotion to give sex to someone completely.
I never knew that.
So it usually ends up, and I've been guilty of it. I've gotten emotionally invested at a point, and it's almost turned relationship, but it always turns to more headache and heartache than anything. Right. So you told us your first story. What's your other story that you got about? Now, I think this one was just, again, another one-night stand, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, I got to filter through which one.
Nice. Yeah, just go ahead, man.
This is just a one-night stand. I was supposed to have. It was, my buddy was dating a chick, and it was her cousin, and we hooked up the one night. And it was fun. It was great. We kind of just did whatever we wanted to. It was like, hey, it's a one-night stand. Fuck it. Do whatever you want. And then I started talking to her later, and she started talking to me. We hooked up again. It was still fun. You're at an amusement park. The roller coaster's fun. You get on the ride and go, throw your hands up in the air and scream a few times and have a good time.
Yeah. Right. Now, you said it was like whatever. We did whatever. So it's only a one-night stand, so it's whatever. So what? Are we talking you guys did fucking anal? What are you guys talking about here?
We did the build-up to anal. It wasn't the first
Wow.
time. I said we fucked around a few times because it was fun. She had a fun time. I had a fun time. She was fine as hell.
Okay,
I was
so
in great shape.
So I'm going to ask you, on one-night stands, do you kiss them on the lips?
No, actually, I had a rule about that. They tried to kiss me. I was like, no, don't kiss me. And they're like, well, that's so weird. Like, why don't you do that? It's like, I'm not here to kiss you. I'm here to fuck you.
Oh, man. To the point. I love it.
Yeah. Like, and it was just real, on most one-night stands, I try to go over to their place, and I kind of try to judge, because I carry around condoms, but I didn't always use them.
Ooh.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Or I'd use them, half the time, and then we'd go around 2, and I'd be like, oh no, fuck this.
Right.
But
right.
but you kind of judge, when you go to because I'd always try to go to their places. I didn't want them knowing where I live. It's just a one night thing. I keep my wallet in the car when I went in.
Right.
Because you never know if someone's going to steal your shit or like look at your ID. People are crazy. They were like, oh, he lives at this address. It's on his driver's license.
Right. Now, check this out. I met a chick that I had a one-night stand with, and I messed up. I'm glad you said that because that reminds me of this. Now, check this out. I had a one-night stand. It was whatever. We did whatever. And she took a picture, dude, of my driver's license. No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had my, obviously had everything on there, my name, obviously that, but my address and all that. And she sent it to me, and she's like, oh, look what I took a picture of. Okay, so immediately I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a crazy bitch. Not happening. And that's another thing I'm going to ask about one-night stands. When it's a one-night stand, there's really no getting to know them unless, like you said at the beginning of the show, you're friends, you've been friends, and now you guys are hooking up. But I get that. But these chicks, like in a couple of your stories, they were just random chicks, right?
Yeah, I didn't care about them. They didn't care about me. We were just, you throw your inhibitions to the wind. You're just out to have fun.
I love it.
They already made the conscious decision to hook up with you for the night. So pretty much anything goes. They're down for whatever most of the times. Not all the times.
Okay.
I got a couple chicks that they didn't get head, and I left pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Now with that, when does it become a relationship? Like, so if you met this girl as a side chick or as a one night stand or the hookup or the 3 a.m.er, when does it become like, oh shit, this is happening a lot more than I thought? When does it become to where whether it's the female or the male, when they start thinking, okay, is this like a relationship? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you start thinking of them outside the bedroom, when you start thinking of them like you're at work and they cross your mind, you text them to see how they're doing, or they're in some like personal shit, you want to make sure they're okay, past the point of just making sure that, just past the normal stuff, like, hey, is everything cool? And they're like, oh yeah, everything's all right. You're like, okay, cool. Instead, you start to dig into it and you start getting attached and you start getting their backstory. Say they have kids, you meet their kids and you start hanging around, they see you, they start to get to know you. That's too far, No,
it makes sense. And so I guess ultimately the biggest rules of one night stands is what I'm getting right here is don't think of them outside of the bedroom, outside of fucking, right? Don't kiss them on the lips, obviously, right? Now, here's another thing. Do you go down on them? Because as guys, a one night stand, I'm pretty sure every male or every guy, any of our listeners that are guys, we're going to expect like, hey, I'm going to get head, right?
Yeah.
So do guys go down? Like, you're not going to kiss them on their lips, but you're going to go down on them? That's
different. That's fucking, they did something for you, so you should probably reciprocate the favor. Guys, all guys, they do the smell test, kind of make sure. You don't want to, put your mouth on something. You might get some sores.
Oh, man.
But reciprocate, but if she doesn't do the up cleaning, the cleaning, keeping everything nice and trim, I probably wouldn't do it. When I go out, I make sure take a shower beforehand, do some manscaping, make sure you smell good down there and you're clean.
Okay.
She's nice enough to put a stranger's dick in her mouth.
I love it. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Especially if she's hot, man, reciprocate the favor. And if you're like, I want to fuck her again, then especially do it.
Okay. No, it makes sense.
And like I said, it's a one night stand, so they already threw their inhibitions to the wind. So you might as well be able to do all the freaky shit you want. Now, if you're gonna go and fuck them again on the regular, you want to get all the freaky shit you can in with about 3 months and have all the fun, like do all the crazy shit you want to do, because then after then it kind of tends to dwindle off.
Yeah, and again, that's where it becomes the hookup. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
All right, real quick, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, I think we're going to tie it up with another good story that I have for you. And I know Depot's going to give some feedback onto it as well. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up? It's your host, Jay. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Listen, real quick, if you guys don't have any plans for this summer, I got an idea for you. Check out Velocity Powersports Rentals. They have top-of-the-line toys that you can take out this summer, whether it be the side-by-sides or the wave runners. Check them out here on Facebook, and I'll leave a link at the end of the video. Hey, what's up, guys? And we're back. Now we're going to hurry and go through a little story I have about hookups. So check this out, Jake. Are you there on the line?
Yep, I'm here.
So I hooked up with this chick, right? And a long story short, I knew it was bad. And the only reason I say that is when I got there, she was introducing me to her kids, and it was just all bad, right? I should say,
big red flag.
Yeah, I should say her kid. But started introducing me to her kid and all that. But the hookup itself was great. And I fucked up. I kissed her on the lips. And ultimately, at the end of it, I ended up marrying her, and now I'm divorced. That was my last marriage. That was my hookup.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I have plenty of other hookups that were awesome, but that was one. So I guess to end the show, I would say my biggest advice is don't marry your hookup. Don't fall for your hookup because you met her as a hookup. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, you're not going to find marriage material at the bar at a one-night stand.
No, and that's what I did. You know, I did that twice. My first wife, because I was married twice, Jake. My first wife, she was a stripper. And, you know, obviously that went bad. So don't marry a stripper. Well, no, because I got friends that are strippers. What I'm saying is don't marry a stripper that just hooked up with your buddy the night before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, don't do that. No, that makes sense. I wouldn't do that. What you do is you fuck her, so she goes back to all her friends and says, what a good fuck you are, and then you fuck all of them.
Yeah, see, I wish I would have thought like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, strippers live fast lives. Like, I mean, they're females regardless, so, you know, you treat all your females with respect, but, you know, they live a different lifestyle. They're out there for the cash, the fun, and sometimes the drugs, whatever, but, you know, you're not going to find marriage material at a strip club. Right.
And no, I totally agree with you. Look, Jake, Depot, thank you so much for being on this show and giving us some of your stories, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's been great having.
Yeah, dude. And I'm sure our listeners loved your stories. Listen, I want to do a quick shout out. Again, thanking my special guest, Depot, for taking the time to do this podcast with us. Quick shout out to Velocity Powersports Rentals. If you guys are looking for them, I'll have a link at the end. Look at them. Rent from them. You won't regret it. With that, guys, thank you. I hope you guys have a better day. Peace. Afraid you're going to miss an episode? Don't trip. I got you guys taken care of. Follow the link below and keep up to date on every episode. Make sure you tune in on our next one as we're going to be talking about deadbeat baby dads. All right, we'll see you guys.